Okay everyone, we're back here to finish the tutorial for Workintexas.com. This segment is going to focus on My Portfolio. My Portfolio is pretty much the most important aspect of the whole system. Everything that you enter into your portfolio will actually be available for employers to see, will also allow you to potentially match for jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is your home page. This is what it looks like when you sign in. I'm going to choose at the top My Portfolio. This is going to bring up the whole page. To give you a briefing, left hand side under My Profile, you'll be able to update any personal information, contact information like your address, phone number, email address, additional information, also change your password. I am going a little fast in this video because, as everyone knows, you don't have a lot of time to record a YouTube video. Now, the top part of this page is job matching criteria. Only the information you have up here will match you with jobs. The bottom portion, as you see here, is your resume. So keep in mind, the resume and the job matching system, even though they're on one page, they work independently from each other. So, for example, on the work history, if I have that I've been a welder for 30 years down here, but I do not have it in my occupations at the top, it will not match me to welding jobs. So I must enter everything in here for the job matching criteria and then the resume. Now the resume at the bottom, you can actually, once you enter everything, you'll be able to print that resume. You can save it on your computer and then also email it to potential employers. I'm going to go over all that. Let's get started. If you see that your page doesn't have check marks by headings such as this one, the computer skills, the state agency, you definitely need to work on it. Even though you see 2 check marks here by pay and location and occupational experience and interest, you also need to go revisit that. We're going to start by pay and location. This is where you're willing to work. So right now I have Dallas area in there at full-time. I also want to add a part-time profile. This system does not allow you to choose part-time and full-time at the same time, so you have to do 2 separate ones. Notice I put Dallas PT. If I were to just left it Dallas, it would not allow me to because I already have another preference labeled Dallas. I'm going to put in $7.25 an hour. And as I said earlier, people kind of frown on putting $7.25 an hour in there. And I do this because I want to be able to see everything. So if there's a job paying $7.25 an hour or $50 an hour, I don't want to be left out. It is up to me to make that decision whether I'm going to be interested in applying for that job or not. Just like to leave my options open. I recommend the same for you. I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose part-time. If you notice here, just to give you an example, it won't let me choose both. So that's why we're doing 2 separate profiles. I'm going to choose all of them because I want to see everything. Again, I may not be able to work overnight, but hey, if I see a job that is paying really good, I might change my mind. I'm going to choose next. You can't see next probably on yours, but it is there. This is the region. I'm going to choose Dallas. And the area, I'm going to choose Dallas again. Notice it comes up a whole list of cities. If I choose Dallas West, it will only give me Dallas West. But if I choose nothing, it will give me all of these cities. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to save it. Okay. You want to add up to 5 pay and locations here. I'm going to add another one because I do want to work in Fort Worth. Okay. Full-time. I'm going to show you something here also. You see at the top I have Fort Worth. That's just a label I'm giving this. I could put Jamaica up here, but it's not going to search in Jamaica unless I have it down here. This is where it counts. So you see preference name Fort Worth. If I go in and I choose Waco, guess what? It's not going to match me with Fort Worth. It's going to match me with Waco. So make sure that this and this match. So again, I'm going to choose Dallas Fort Worth, and I'm going to choose Fort Worth. area. I want all the cities. I'm not going to select any of them. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go in and add that part-time profile. Next. Okay, just say I'm willing to relocate. I'm going to put Houston. Now I will only relocate to Houston if it's full-time naturally, so I'm going to choose full-time. I'm going to go to the Houston, Galveston region and choose Houston. Scroll down and save it. So you notice that the add pay and location blue button is gone. That's because I've used all of my pay and locations. You can always go back and delete some of these. Just say I change my mind. I don't really want to work in Houston. I go to actions and delete and it takes it off. And you see the blue button comes back on there. Okay, now to occupations. This is your meat of the whole system. Occupations you need to have between 10 and 15. As I said in the previous video, you may have had a job title, but chances are that you did work that maybe belonged to your coworker, you know, but nonetheless, you still have more experience than you think. So you break that job title down. I gave the example of an office clerk. Office may have had receptionist, customer service skills, a little bit of cashiering, HR, bookkeeping, data entry, filing. You see where I'm going with this. There's a lot of occupations you can add in there. What I'm going to do today is go ahead and put the most common occupations that are out there. So 90% of the jobs is going to have one of these occupations at least. So you're welcome to copy on your profile. Now keep in mind, if you don't have experience in any of this, it's okay. Just say that you have 0 years, 0 months experience, because some employers are still willing to train you. Actually, they prefer that because they can train you the way that they need you to be trained. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just watch real close for the occupations. I clicked Add Occupation. You can choose by job title or category, whichever is easier for you. I'm going to go ahead and do category. I'm going to go back to, let me just choose production. Search. And this is in alphabetical order. I'm going to guess the P is around page 4. Scroll down till I find production workers, all other. I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to put in my experience. Actually, I have no experience, so I'm going to put 0 and 0. No license, no supervisory experience, and I'm going to save it. So now it's in my occupational list. Go in and add another one. I'm going to do job title this time. I'm going to type in CNA. Okay, you see that CNA doesn't come up, but we have a lot of options related to CNA. I actually want to add 3 of these, so I'm going to do one at a time. Nursing aide, 3 years. Yes, I have a license. No, I haven't supervisory experience. Skills. You can always go in and enter this information later. Because I'm running low on time, I've got to go in and save it, and then we'll go back and revisit it later. But add occupation. Again, I want to put CNA in there. And I want to choose the next option, personal and home care aide. The reason I'm doing these 3 is because they do both have relevance to a CNA job. Okay, say if I type in home health, it would help if I could spell. Okay, so I'll choose home health aide, 3 years, no, and no supervisory experience. Okay, I'm going to choose welder. On welder, you've got several options there. I want all of them. I do have a welder's license. I can actually hit the back button. Sometimes it'll work on your computer, sometimes it won't. It depends on your settings. I'm going to go ahead and do it because it's faster for me. You see, I'm going back. I'm going back through the list. I'm getting all this experience and I'm adding it in my occupation. Production helper. I have done production helper. Okay, add another one. Forklift driver. Forklift, I'm going to type in forklift, and as you will see, it doesn't come up forklift. The one that is for forklift is called industrial truck and tractor operators. I'm going to choose that. 2 years. No, I don't have a license. I'm going to save it. Okay. What else? Let me see. Receptionist. Remember I said about the office, you probably did a lot of different jobs. Go ahead, by all means. Put that experience in there. Back. Medical secretary. Well, I haven't done medical secretary, so I'm putting 0 years and 0 months. However, the skills that I learned as a regular secretary, I could actually use for a medical secretary because they're going to train me anyway. Add occupation, customer service. A lot of people get confused, think customer service just means answering a phone at a call center, but that's not the case. It does include that. However, customer service is actually providing customer service to the public. Okay, so you notice I have 15 occupations in here and my button is gone. I can't add any more. What I can do if I need to add some to match a job, I can delete one of these and then go in and add another one. Industries, it's going to be the broad spectrum. What industry did you work in? Well, accommodation and food service for 5 years. I worked in, well, for whatever reason, this computer doesn't allow me, but you can choose 3. One option could be retail, construction, production. You kind of get the idea. Okay, down toward the bottom, you have keywords, education, computer, language, driver's license, additional skills, and match with state agency. You see at the right where it says no, this means that it's not complete. So I need to go in and keywords. I can add 10. It's going to be basically buzzwords. A lot of employers will only match you to a job if you have that keyword in there. Some examples are truck driver, welder, office, cashier, production, forklift, CNA, sitter, bookkeeper. Okay, so I have a few there. Like I said, you can add up to 10. There's even, if you can see this, few examples and top 10 keywords. So you can actually get some ideas there if you're running out of options. Return to portfolio. I'm going to scroll to the next section, which is education. This is the highest level of education you have completed, whether it's grade school, high school, a little bit of college, or a lot of college. So if you saw the first video, I am repeating myself just in case someone goes directly to the portfolio page. I don't want anyone to be left out. I'm going to choose high school / GED. I'm going to scroll down. Driver's license, the most common is Class C standard driver's license. If you have a commercial license or a motorcycle license, you can choose that and any endorsements that you have. If you have only a state-issued ID card, you will choose Class C standard driver's license because it does include the ID card. Additional skills, you're welcome to put anything down here, any extra information that you think the employer will want to know. I'm going to save it. Okay, go back down to my list. Next is computer skills. A lot of people think they don't have computer skills when they actually do. If you can operate a smartphone, if you can email your friend, if you can Google on the internet, you have computer skills. On this part, typing speed, unless that actual job requires you go in and add it, I would leave it blank. If you type 45 words a minute or more, go ahead, you can enter that. But if you're like me and I put in 25 words a minute, I may actually limit myself to a job match, so I will leave it blank. On here, personal computers, I'm not familiar with Excel. Email, internet, I can make a copy or use a printer. I do know a little bit about Word. If I have any kind of extra skills down here, like robotics or anything like that, any extra software listed here. You'll save it. Language, if you speak a language in addition to English or Spanish, whatever, you can definitely indicate it here. And we did driver's license skills, and we talked about the additional skills. The bottom part, match with state agency job. This is if you want to be considered with any state entity. That could be Department of Health and Human Services. That could be state colleges, Texas Parks and Wildlife. I'll give you an example. Right now, Texas Parks and Wildlife has openings for the season, like for a custodian. If you have custodial experience, but you don't have this indicated that you want the state of Texas application to be shared with them, you will not be able to see that job. So I recommend that everyone go ahead and do it. Once you click on that, it's going to bring you to this state application. You can do it. Just fill in all the blanks. Commercial license, no. I'm not going to put my typing speed in there. Do I know sign language? No. Are you a certified interpreter? No. Are you at least 17? Yes. Do you speak a language other than English? No. Do you write in a language other than English? No. Work week, I'm going to choose everything. What days are you unable to work? I'm going to put NA. A lot of people get confused and think that it means what days are you able to work. Read it carefully. I can work any day, so I'm going to put NA. Are you willing to work hours other than 8 to 5? Yes. Are you willing to travel? Yes. I'm going to say 100%. Don't get scared. 100% travel could mean that you have to go from Arlington to Grand Prairie during the course of a day. That's 100% travel with the state. So, date available for work immediately, unless you're currently working. You want to do 2 weeks from job offer. Always, always give your current employer 2 weeks notice. Where are you available to work? Just going to put Dallas area. Yours is going to be different probably. Have you been convicted of a felony or subjected to deferred adjudication on a felony charge? No. If you say yes, make sure that you give details and keep in mind that it doesn't necessarily disqualify you if you do have a conviction. High school or GED? Yes. The name of it, Dallas Carter High School. Have you ever been employed with the state of Texas? No. Are you employed with the state of Texas? No. Were you a foster youth? No. Are you a veteran? No. Are you a surviving spouse of a veteran? No. Are you a surviving orphan of a veteran? Of course, if your answer is yes, you will enter some more information. Special training skills, qualifications, feel free to add any information. This is EEO data. This is optional. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. At the bottom, certification and availability. You want to make your application available to the state of Texas. I'm going to save it. And there we go. Now, right now, I'm going to go back to the top, click on My Portfolio. Do you see we have check marks by everything and we have a full profile. We're going to work on the bottom now. This is your resume. Now we have some blanks we need to go in there and fix. Career objectives. If you're having trouble with this, you can choose View Career Objective Examples. It will provide you with examples. I'm going to just make a quick statement here. This is not a real good career objective, but I just wanted to put it in there. It should be a brief statement. To obtain a position in the customer service field, exercising my great people skills. We don't really want to say people skills, but I'm sure that everyone out there is more creative than me. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go to the next, work history. We already did 2 in the first video. Like I said, you want to do at least 3, no more than 4. Definitely don't put your whole life history out there because a resume needs to be a snapshot. I've only actually worked 2 jobs, so I'm going to leave it at that. I want to give you an example here. Texas Instruments, briefly, employer name. You see I filled all of that information in there. My job duties, very, very descriptive. You definitely need to do that. Please don't just put ran assembly line. You want to make it count. There's a website. If you need some help, it's www.onetonline.org. You can find out some better job descriptions over there. It is very good if you watch the first video because I give an example step by step on how to do that. Make sure that you enter all your information. If you had a mass layoff, indicate that you had a mass layoff. Do not put that you got in a fight with your supervisor. Even if you did, you need to at least put "will discuss" at interview if it's something like that. If it's some rare case, you don't want to talk negatively about a supervisor. So I'm going to go back. References. I recommend 3 references. I'm going to give you an example. References, give that employer everything about you up front. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to call you and ask for those references. Just put it out there already. If you have their email address, it's great to put in there because most employers prefer to email anyway. I'm going to save it. Like I said, you're going to add 3. Return to portfolio. Next step, education. We already did talk about education before. That was the highest level achieved. Now it's the where. Where did you go to school? Where did you go to college? Add new education. Dallas Carter. High school. United States. High school. Basic. Put the dates that you started and ended and if you graduated or not. If you were in college, then you're going to put your total hours and your GPA here. I'm going to save it. If you want to add more, like say if you did a year in college, add new education and go from there. Training. Maybe you took a Microsoft course at the local college. Add everything that you can in here. Oops. Handy dandy cut and paste. Richland College. And I completed it. You start date, end date, and then just go into a description of what it was. License. Maybe you have a CNA license. Maybe you have a welder certificate. Let's see. Issuer, state of Texas. Certification. Welder. I'm sure it's named something else. And then if you have a license number. Dallas, Texas. Date issued, recertification date if it applies, and an expiration date. You can put here notary, you can put forklift, you can put an insurance license, LVN, RN, whatever the case is. OSHA certificate. Okay, so we've got that. And return to portfolio. Summary of qualifications. 250 characters to brag about yourself. I like to use buzzwords. Dependable, honest. Look at me using all caps. Nope, don't do it. Team player. Like I said, you'll be more creative than I am, and you'll want to put more than that as well. Save it. And we already did the State of Texas application details. Looking at this page, we are completely done with our profile. Now we want to print our resume. So you go to the right, view or print resume application. Now, here you can choose what you want on your resume. Some people may just want a career objective and work history, education. That's okay if you want that. You can click preview print resume and it'll come up, and it's not going to be very long. I want to see everything. So I'm going to choose check all. It's going to put everything in there. I also like PDF files better. I just think they're neater to view. So I choose PDF and preview print resume. When it comes up, you're going to see everything that we have entered in the system. Just imagine if you had put all lowercase, how your resume would look. That's the importance of doing your spell check and your capitalization. My work history is here, my education, my training, my license, my computer skills, my references, everything is on there. Now, it does make for a 2-page resume, which some places may not like that. So that's when you can go in and customize it in that page I showed you earlier. You can also save this on your desktop and email it as an attachment to a potential employer. Close this. State of Texas application, if you click up here, this is if you need to print a hard copy for a state job. However, most of them are online anyway, and you don't have to redo that. If you want to work for a probation office, you do have to print a hard copy. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my portfolio. I can actually do view jobs matching criteria, and it will show me all of these jobs that I match with. If you are receiving unemployment benefits and you have 214 results, you have a lot of work to do because you have to clean each one of these out. You have to make a decision whether you're interested or not interested. I'll show you an example. This third one where it says welder, I'm going to choose it. I'm going to read the job description. I'm a fast reader, you know. Scroll to the bottom and say I'm interested and hit next. And I have to say I'm interested and save it. That's the only way you get credit for it. So it will bring me back to this contact page. It will only count on my work search log if I follow through with these contact instructions. So at this point, I can't put it on my work search log. However, if I contact Shauna Tucker in person or by email, I can then put it on my work search log because I actually did some form of action. I applied for that job. I'm going to return to results. If I forgot to write that down, I can go back up to my interested list and click interested open, and there it is. I can view it again and get the contact information. I'm going back to my portfolio and choose view jobs matching your criteria. Earlier we had some results. We're going to go ahead. Every time you do this, sorry, I'm kind of skipping around. Every time you choose an occupation and you make a decision whether you're interested or not interested, the number will go down. Now, say I'm moving. Okay, I'm going to go back to my portfolio, go into my pay and location. I need to delete Dallas. I'm moving to Abilene. Oops. You'll become really fast at this once you do one or two. It'll come like second nature. So you notice it didn't let me delete every single one. I had to add Abilene. Now I can go back and delete Fort Worth. Okay, so now I'm moving to Abilene. I'm going to match jobs. I want to see what's in Abilene. Hey, I only have 40, so that means I have to go in 40 times. I'm going to click welder's helper. I'm reading. I'm going to choose I'm interested and hit next. I'm going to hit I'm interested again and save it. This is very important. It's going to pull up. I need to contact Ashley in person or by phone. If it lists a phone number, they're giving you permission to call them. If it doesn't, do not call them. Email, if they provide an email address, that means you need to go ahead and email your resume. So I'm going to return the results. We had 40, now we have 39. The goal is to get this number of 39 down to 0. Once this is 0, this lets unemployment know that you have viewed every one of your job matches and hopefully applied for them. What happens if there's a job out there you're browsing and it doesn't match? Let's choose, just say, let's do Athens. Don't know where Athens is. Let's see, say I'm interested in this CDL driver helper. I know I can do it. I read the description and it matches me. Oh, but this says it doesn't match. Well, I need to compare myself. Once I click that button, then it's going to tell me where I don't match. Well, number one, I don't have Athens in my pay and location. I don't have in the system that I possess a CDL license, a Class A commercial, which I do. And I don't have in my occupation truck driver. Well, I have some work to do. I'm going to go back, click the button at the bottom that you probably can't see. It says Modify Job Match. Takes me back to my portfolio. What did I have to do? I have to add Athens. Next, I choose Athens. Was it Tyler? I needed to add truck driver. I have to delete one of these occupations because I don't have any room. So I'm going to delete one. I go in and add. Type in truck driver. It's going to be the first one. I actually have 5 years. I do have a CDL license. I'm going to save it. I've got to go down and change my actual license. Remember, I have Class C. I have to change that to a Class A. And I have triples and doubles. I have hazmat and I have tanker endorsements. I'm going to save it. Okay. Now I'm going to choose match jobs. Guess what? There it is. That CDL driver, Boyce Paving in Athens is in my job matches now. Actually, I even went from 39 job matches to 72 just by adding Athens. So you kind of get the idea. Now that it's in my job match list, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to say I'm interested. I hit next. I want to say well, this one is tricky. This one, all you have to do is say, I want to apply now and save it. This will send your resume that you created and that is perfect. It will send it directly to this employer. There are not a lot of jobs like that in the system, but when they are, they're really great. Now, if you say I want to apply now and save it, then you can put that on your work search log because that's all you have to do to apply for this one. Again, this is not the case for most of the jobs in the system, but when they come through, they're really nice. So you would save it. I actually don't want to apply for this job right now, so I'm going to exit out of that, but that is a good example. Earlier, I gave a briefing of the whole Workintexas, like what all the headings mean up here, and I believe that's it. Good luck. This is a great tool. You put good stuff in, you get good stuff out. Take your time with it. Do your spell check. I can't stress that enough. And make sure that your profile is full of your pay and location. If you need to have 15 occupations in there. If your computer works, which mine is not, you want to have 3 industries. And every single one of these down here need to have a yes on the right hand side. That's all for now. Good luck and have a great day.